Good morning. I'm Kirk Wilson. I live in Dallas, Texas. I really haven't made a video like this before, but I thought I would this morning because I really wanted to put my thoughts out in a video format. You know, Ronald Reagan, he was an eternal optimist. So am I. My observations are that folks that win in life are generally optimists. That does not mean we don't see negatives. We do. It also does not mean we lose some battles. We do. But we get back up and live to fight another day. We sort through the challenges, set a path forward, and then execute a plan. I am a Republican, but I have many Democrat friends and acquaintances. I have many acquaintances with leaders that are Republicans and Democrats, those public officials that are doing a very hard job right now, trying to make judgments that are right. And no matter their party affiliations, I think that they generally are trying to do what they believe is the correct decision for their constituents. The last 3 months have been a challenge that we did not anticipate fully at all. So Monday morning quarterbacking, that's not what we need to do right now. That's for another day. But I've reached what I call stage 3 of waking up. Stage 1, what for me, was questioning my support for the initial lockdown. I originally supported the mission statement of a brief lockdown for the purposes of allowing the medical community to prepare for a surge. That was the stated mission. Stage 2 for me was realizing that mission creep had occurred. It allowed moving the goalpost, changing the goals to this unclear mission of a lockdown up to the point of a treatment or a vaccine that would successfully move the risk levels to 0 for overall society. As I looked at that mission, I realized that that was a utopian quest of idiocy. That was not sustainable, and in fact was creating a situation where the cure was more detrimental to overall society than the risk of the virus. That is clearly the case. Stage 3 for me is now realizing that giving an inch of liberty and making compromises to allow government to seek overall societal good is a dangerous road for the free world. I'm going to lay out some of my thoughts and considerations to ponder right now. Number one, we all have to realize life has risks. Life is risk. Death is a certainty. There's no way around eventual death. Clearly, I would prefer that to be a distant event, but I realize that it's not up to me. I'm not going to reduce my risk level to 0 because that's not attainable. And that quest would really end my life. Life is for living. I choose not to give up my life in a quest for an unrealistic risk reduction in one component area. I realize that some will say my choice is somehow impacting their risk. Well, that is not true. I'm not telling you to go out into the marketplace. If you choose to stay in your place, you're free to do exactly that. You need to make individual risk reduction decisions on your own. My decision is not yours, and I'm not forcing myself upon you. Fear is a powerful weapon. We're being encouraged on many fronts to give into this fear narrative. If you turn on different news channels, maybe there's 8 choices out of there, 6 of them will have the fear narrative. Wrong approach. We need to reject fear and bolster courage. This is critical for us to do right now. We are winners, not losers. The virus is something that is dangerous. Getting the virus may be a tough road for some and may be fatal for others. But if you get this virus, you're likely to be in the 98% recovery group. Yes, 98% recovery. Folks promoting the fear narrative and encouraging others to adopt it are encouraging a loser society. One clear signal we are sending to our external enemies is that we are a weak society. We cannot sustain our free nation status if we give in to this approach. The ramifications on this front are far-reaching and are not limited to our borders. Individuals need to make risk determinations on their own. We cannot tell society they need to look to government to make decisions for them. This approach underscores the nanny state. It produces the sheep society. Courage and informed decision-making need to be individual responsibility. That's life. Shifting this paradigm is critical to our society's future viability. The alternative is the Chinese communist model. Some folks will say I'm making a huge leap here. I submit to you that I am not doing that. The risk to our freedoms and societal existence as we know it cannot be sustained by a people that cannot make decisions on their own and rely on government to tell them what they need to do. Any type of measure we take as a society needs to be uniform. A market closure needs to be a total closure or none. The essential services determination by government on the private sector is an abridgment of liberty that's not something we should accept on those that are not deemed essential. FYI, my business has been essential throughout. I've not missed a day at my office, and neither have my people. But I believe this approach allows for government to make determinations that we should not allow. Market closure of any type for a health emergency such as this needs to be deemed uniform on all businesses. Government cannot be picking winners and losers. Government services during this brief closure should also be limited to public safety, water, sewer, those types of basic services. Government paychecks should also cease to any department not in the category of essential public safety and health. And more importantly, help the government folks realize the impacts of their decisions. The practicality of this should put proper context on what's being done. Government has to feel the squeeze just like the rest of society. This will help ensure brief closures in the future and is the only type of market closure endeavor we should allow. Churches should never close, period. Churches should stand for faith and be open places of worship and refuge. Government should not be able to infringe on church openings. Church leaders should demonstrate courage, not underscoring the fear narrative. I say open the marketplace 100%. These occupancy restrictions on businesses and picking and choosing what businesses can open needs to be rejected right now. The government can issue safety guidelines, but individual businesses need to decide how to run their own businesses. Then the consumers can choose where they want to do business. The free marketplace is America. I'm going to attend an open marketplace protest this weekend and encourage others to look for one near you to attend. It might seem like a little thing, but I think we need to show some initiative and attend these protests to make our voice of optimism heard. We should realize now that this elongated market closure has created very serious economic and societal challenges to our nation and the world. Action is required by all of us now to correct our course. We have to lead the world. No other is going to do that. Do not accept failure. Failure is not an option. I firmly believe we are on the verge of the biggest comeback in the history of our nation. We will lead the world forward if we act. No matter how we got here, we are here. We will win, and we will do what we need to do to deliver victory. But in that quest, we cannot sacrifice the future of the free world. Let's prove that we are the United States of America and rendezvous with our destiny. May God bless you and your family, and God bless America. Good morning.